Hi, welcome to my review today. So I'm taking a look at a Dapol Class 22 locomotive. The reason I have this is these are actually on offer at the moment from a number of the major vendors, and they're actually pretty good value. They're selling for around about £80. Typical sales price in the past has been probably in the 120 to 130 range. So that's a pretty nice reduction, and it's a locomotive I've been looking at for a while, and with that nice reduction I said I'd take the plunge. So let's kind of take a look at it. I'm just going to pop it out here. Comes in the standard Dapol locomotive packaging, which I think is really good. It's very highly rated. This is interesting. There seems to be these guys at the side here, so I don't know what these are. Okay, there's the detailing, some detailing parts there on that side. Let's see what's out on the other side here. Alright, these are the numbering codes which you can change and some more details. So that's interesting. So you can actually change the numbers at the front. So we're going to take this guy out now, and we'll okay, I've got that cellophane piece off, so let's take a quick look at the sheets. This looks like the warranty sheet, which is fine. A DCC guide on the lighting functions. So separate control of the rear, front, rear lights and the cab lights, which is always good. So that's great. We'll be taking a look at that later on. I do want to fit DCC into this, and we'll see what sort of functions it gives us. Number 2 cab. Okay, so you do need to have the you can see that there, you do need to have the 6-function decoder for the cab lights. That's fine. And they talk about the Imperium, which is the Dapol DCC decoder. I might try the Hattons decoder with this. Next one up here, let's take a look at this, some background on the locomotive. I've never had a Class 22 actually, so kind of interested in seeing it, and I've actually purchased two. I've got one in the British Rail blue livery, and this one is in the green, and I'm going to give this one a bit of a run out first. I have some rolling stock I want to try it with it as well, so that just gives a bit of history on the locomotive, and then it talks a little bit about adding lubrication, etc. there, maintenance at the back. And here it talks about the decoder. Okay, adding DCC, etc. So that's good. Alright. Okay, so much for the documentation. So that looks everything is in order there. I'll just get that out of the way. So what about the locomotive itself? So again, this is good weight. Dapol locomotives traditionally have a good level of weight in them. So I'm happy to see that. I kind of like the look of this locomotive. It's I know it's kind of short. It's not like the kind of longer locomotives. But okay, there's an interesting little protective film there at the front. I'll just take that guy off for a moment. Okay, so we can kind of see the lighting here. We can see the sad eyes, I think was one of the names they used to call these, with the kind of windows like that, drooping to either side. Not very nice little wipers on those. And a nice interesting effect, riveted metal outside to the windows actually. That's quite a nice detail. Nice little warning labels there. You can see little marker lights, so I assume that they'll come on when we do the lighting. And we've got some pretty nice spring buffers there. Now this does come fitted. Some of the Dapol locomotives don't actually have the couplers fitted out of the box. You have to actually fit them, but these ones actually do appear to be fitted there. So that's quite nice. Let's go through the rest here now, so take a little bit more detail. Handrails, some real metal handrails there. Again, very nice glazing effect around the window there, all the way back. These nice grills here. Another pretty nice grill there in the middle. All in all, pretty nice effect. Nice fan up front there that you can just see through, nice and realistic, and a couple of vents here with kind of grills over them as well. So that's actually pretty nice. I haven't seen that usually done before. And the same on the other side. I'll take this guy off because we'll be running this thing anyway. And that looks pretty nice on the other side coupling hook in the middle there, and again spring buffers on this side. The bogies look good. Not a huge amount of detailing underneath the body there, but absolutely perfectly acceptable. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a nice kind of foot plate type detail underneath, and obviously the emblem on there. This is pretty good. It's a nice little weighty model. I have a Mark 1 rake that I want to run behind this, so looking forward to doing that. So this is everything I was looking for so far. I'm pretty pleased with it, and so I'm going to get a decoder into this now, just a standard DCC decoder. I don't have a sound decoder. I do have a class 20. I might actually try that out. Class 22 decoders aren't that common, so if I think I have a spare class 20 hanging around, so I might try that at some stage. But for my initial running session, I'm going to run it with just with the DCC without the sound, and we'll see how she performs. Interesting to see how she does perform actually, and put a rake of Mark 1 coaches behind this. So we're going to take a break now. I'll get the DCC installed, and we'll get out there and get a running session with this. Okay, we're ready to get going here. Just going to put on the cab lights to show you what they look like. I haven't got the head codes actually installed, so you just see them. They look like lights, but the head codes would normally be featuring in those two front light positions. Starting off here, we're pulling a rake of 5 Mark 1 coaches. They're a mixture of Bachmanns. The blue and greys are Bachmanns. The purple ones are, the maroon ones are Hornby. It's a 5-car rake. These locomotives wouldn't have been pulling excessive rakes. They're obviously smaller than something like a Deltic. So this is probably a little bit more representative, and I've only just run in this locomotive as well, so I didn't want to put a lot of stress on it. These are actually it's quite a heavy rake actually. Those are quite heavy, those Bachmann coaches. So I think the first thing to note here is this is extremely smooth, and I ran this locomotive in over the inner circuit on my track there, which got a lot of diamonds and points on it. It's a DC circuit, and I didn't have any issues at all. It was low speed, mid speed, high speed, no problems over any of those obstacles, if I call it that. So a very good runner, a very smooth runner, and you'll see now we'll pick up the speed as we go here, but quite a bit of power here and a bit of speed as well. In the running session I actually only go up to about 50% speed, 50% power. You'll hear it get a little bit noisy because, as it says, it's only been run in for probably about an hour and a half, so this locomotive will smooth out. Even during the session I could hear it kind of smooth out during the session here. But it's extremely smooth, and I'd have to say I'm very impressed with it, because a lot of locomotives, even when you get to the lower speeds, will have bits of difficulties over those diamonds and points. This guy had none. This was really good. The kind of performance you see from your typical Bachmann or Murphy models. Speeding it up here now, so it's good to get a sense for this locomotive running at a slightly higher speed. And as I say, really impressive all the way through. So we are running on DCC here, just to confirm that. We're running with the Imperium DCC controller installed, the Dapol Imperium. I have tried these out with a Hattons controller, and no problem. 21-pin DCC controllers, no problems with that either. Picking up the speed a bit more now. Now you can hear the engine sound there, so it's straining a little bit, and that's really that whining noise actually eased during the running session. So at the higher speeds later in the running session, that had actually died down, and I'm only actually running on 50% power here. So there's a lot more to go with this locomotive. It is a very good runner, no doubt about that. And you can just hear the kind of whine is gone there now. So we're actually running at a slightly higher speed now, and it's actually
bedded in, so to speak, the gears, etc. So probably not fully run in. Originally I didn't actually run it at very high speed when I was running it in, so that's probably the reason for that little bit of noise. But I wouldn't have any concern with that. This locomotive got really good performance all the way through this session, and we'll bring it just running at the highest speed I was running at now. It's really at about the 50% power mark right now, and we'll slow it down and we'll bring it into the station and bring it to a stop. So again, you get a feel for how she performs at the lower end of the spectrum, and I think she performs really well. This is for a locomotive at this price range, and I'm pretty impressed. Crawling along now, and really smooth, no doubt about it. You know, I've reviewed locomotives now that could be jerking along a bit at this stage, and that's a very smooth stop. So I think this is a very, very impressive performance on the track, and I'm going to represent that as a high score in terms of the performance of this loco. So let's look at, I suppose, a summary. This is the Class 22 diesel from Dapol. Now there's multiple models in this, in both the British Rail green and in the blue the blue livery with yellow ends. This particular one, as you can see there, it's the model number D6331 in terms of running number, and it has got the distinctive front head codes. Now I haven't actually installed the numbers in this model for the run, but you're given a variety of running numbers that you can install. You get little stickers that you can actually add onto the front boxes there, and the light will actually shine through it. It does have directional lighting, also has the illuminated head code as you've seen, and the cab lighting. The control of the lighting is a little bit quirky, and Dapol kind of have this trend, unfortunately. There's a kind of an oddball set of controls associated with it. You'll have seen it in the opening documentation, but it does have the lighting features, which is good, and so I can't take from it for that. It does have a detailing kit with it. The detailing kit actually gives a very interesting skirt that you can apply right across the locomotive, and it's again, you'll have seen that at the start of the review, and obviously that's optional. I haven't installed it here. The retail selling price at the moment is actually very attractive. So there's a number of vendors actually selling this at the £80 or $79.95 type range, and typically that does tend to go up to 130 or even beyond that in terms of price range, for a DCC ready model, which this actually is. Now I have installed the Imperium controller that typically sells between 18, 19 to £20. And as I say, these prices are accurate as of May 2019. So I think if you can pick it up at that kind of price, the £80 offer price, I think that's really, really attractive for given the quality of locomotive we have here. So let's take a look at the scorecard to kind of wrap things up. So performance, I'm giving this a 4.5 star. It is a really star performer. It's just a fraction off the ultra high performance, I would say, of some of the Bachmanns and the particular Bachmann models, and some of the particular Murphy models, which would be at the top end. They would be the 5-star ratings, but this is really close to them. In all honesty, I had no problems, no derailment, no issues at any of the speed levels, no issues over points and diamonds, etc. Really smooth in terms of starting and stopping. I didn't tweak the CV settings an awful lot here. I did a little bit of changes on them just to get a slightly smoother start, and I usually have a pretty abrupt finish. I usually set the deceleration pretty high so that things can stop pretty quickly. But you could add in, certainly you could tweak those to get even better realism, but no issue at all. Really good performer. I think the appearance is good. I like this particular model. I have another one in the blue livery, which I'll certainly do a running session on that. So it certainly, and there's certainly a good level of detail here, and there's certainly a reasonable detailing kit that comes with it. So I think a 4-star is a good rating. There's no sound obviously out of the box. Extra features is really the extra lighting and the detailing kit you get with it. Packaging and documentation, I'm giving a 4.5 star. I think the packaging here is really good. I highly rate it, and overall it's a very strong 4 stars, and recommended, probably even highly recommended depending on the kind of price range. It really is an excellent runner, and as I said, I think these are definitely worth a look. If you haven't looked at the Dapol range in the past, I would give definitely a strong thumbs up to this particular model. And there is a good variety of models in the range, with different head code and frontal configurations, as well as the kind of the green and the blue liveries. So there should be something in there for everyone, so to speak. So in summary, I think this is a recommended model. I'm very pleased that I got it. I'm very pleased I got it at the price that I got it, and I would, as I say, recommend it as a purchase, and you should be pleased with it. So thank you for joining today's review. Thanks for watching. Got lots more of these reviews coming, so if you like this review, please give it a thumbs up. So again, thanks for looking today, and happy modelling in the future. Bye for now.